Hi Flosstube, it's Karen, recovering monogamous stitcher. I'm back with Flosstube number 28. Today is Friday, September 29th, 2023. It's been 3 weeks since my last Flosstube because I traveled. As I told you the last time, I would be traveling. So I'm just back. Anyway, first let me welcome back my wonderful subscribers and loyal viewers. I appreciate it. And I've had a bump in my numbers in the last few weeks, and I want to welcome the new subscribers. Thank you very much. And if you're still contemplating whether you want to join or not, or follow, I hope you see something in this video that'll convince you. It really helps my numbers and helps my channel if you actually subscribe. I know there are actually quite a few who watch and don't subscribe, and maybe that's your philosophy, you never subscribe. I don't know, but it would be very helpful to the channel if you would do that. So that's the welcome. Okay, quick little life update. Of course, as I say, I'm just back from my trip. I think my brain is still somewhere in Europe time zone or something, but we had a great trip. It was the first real trip we'd had since before COVID. Of course, like everybody else, things are opening up again. It was a cruise, and we had some rough sea days, but I'm not prone to seasickness. I was fine, but it was, it caused a cancellation of a couple ports because one, we couldn't be tendered in, and then the other one, we couldn't get there in time because of the gale winds and the high waves. He had to slow down because you can't slam into the waves. You have to kind of ride them. And so anyway, we missed a couple stops. But this was the first cruise I've been on that, on the sea days, they designated a time. They're looking for all kinds of activities for people to do on sea days. And this is the first time I saw one that was, I think they called us handcrafters. They had a time and place designated for handcrafters to get together. And we did. I met a cross-stitcher and quilter from Kansas, a quilter extraordinaire from Phoenix, Arizona, a quilter from another cross-stitcher from Tulsa, Oklahoma, a fantastic knitter, two fantastic knitters were in that group, one from Minneapolis, one from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Who else? Anyway, we had a group that we were pretty consistent about showing up and being there for the group, and it was fun. Other people would come and stop by to see what we were doing, saying, oh, if I'd known, I would have brought my whatever. Well, those of us who were there never traveled without our stuff, so we were surprised to have the group, but it was great. A couple of them have even joined Central Kentucky Stitchers on a Facebook page, and they came to one session and said, hey, I got accepted, so they're in the group. So we had a great time. I made some really nice connections with some other stitchers, and it was always fun. But it's good to be home, even though reality hits, and you have to, groceries and the laundry and all that stuff. But anyway, I'm back. I'm ready to go. I don't mean to drift, but honestly, I have to tell you, my brain is just kind of drifting right now. So let's look at the Book of Days and see what I've done since the last Flosstube. Last Flosstube, by the way, thank you to all of you who made such wonderful comments about me having my daughter on the video. It was, I agree, I think she's beautiful too. And it was so much fun to have them here, and it was nice that she agreed to get in front of the camera and help me out. That was fun. So anyway, here's my Book of Days. Hardly any stickers, but the pink sparkly washi tape was the time of my trip. So that's pretty empty. And September's almost over. Before I went on the trip, I did some quick sewing because I really need bags. I need ways to organize my stuff. So I spent, let's say, like 2.5 days just doing some sewing. From Tiger Lily Designs, I made her new mini folder. I had a little bit of RBG fabric left, and it worked out just right for this folder. And the folder it doesn't have bobbin pages, but it has, 2 slip pages and then zippered vinyl front pages. So I have one of those done, first one down. not my last, but that's for sure. Great patterns. And again, I'll put that in the notes down below, tigerlily.com, Carrie. She has wonderful patterns. And then I use her full-size pattern and I adjust it so that I can make some more bobbin pages, because I have all kinds of bags with no bobbin pages. And now that I know what a bobbin page is, oh my gosh, I need these. So I just made a few, this is a random size to add into a bag. I made another full-time one of her project folders. I showed you my other one before. This is my new one. I had this much Cafe facet fabric left of my Undersea Rhapsody. A lot of the fish pieces were, I would cut out chunks of, for fins and things. This was gorgeous fabric to use for that. And this was this was the last full size I could get out of that fabric. Everything else looks like Swiss cheese. So I was able to get another nice bag out of it, and I have my flower threads for Jane Parson. I'll get to that in a minute. And then, of course, on the other side, it has the slip pocket and the zippered pocket. So anyway, I got another full-size one done. We'll look at that when I do Jane Thompson. And I did another full-page size bobbin. Now, I have all my DMC flosses in there, but these are some bobbins I already had for those numbers. I have not opened them yet and put them on the bobbins, but I will be doing that when I get to that one. That's for my Sarah Plummer sampler. So I got quite a few things done. That helps me organize. I feel good about that, but I still need more project bags, so I have to set aside some time. Okay, so my actual stitching. After the Flosstube day, I was working on Maria Vincenza Larrichia, once again, Hands Across the Sea. This is, I always have a red sampler going, and this was the one I had going, and she became my focus piece. And since I have quite a few new subscribers, I'm going to repeat what my process is about focus piece. I always have my oldest whip as my focus piece, and I require myself to stitch 7 days in the month, whether in a row or mixed up, doesn't matter. 7 days in a month on that focus piece, and it remains my focus piece until it's done. And that system has really served me well. I don't have things that I've started that are just laying around languishing. I just get them done, and that makes me feel good. So if that's something that you think would make you feel good, you may want to try that. Okay, so I'm working on Maria Vincenza Larrichia. I was working up here the last time, and I had started this motif, and I thought, oh, it was boring. And it was boring, but I charged through it. I think I have another couple little things to do here. So I've started into this middle section, but that was just one day. So I got a few of those little motifs done, and I finished that top part. So she will continue to get 7 days a month. So October is upon us, so she'll start to get her 7 days. And then on my trip, the only thing I took with me was Jane Parson, and I had discussed that before. I took it because it's on 28 count linen, which I can see without magnification, and that was important because I couldn't take my magnifier or big light or anything like that. I had to travel a little lighter, and it worked wonderfully. I saw very well. Okay, I started it just a little bit before we left. I think I had some of this top border done and started some of the alphabet, but I got a lot done considering it was vacation. I didn't have time every single day to stitch on it. The entire border is done. The alphabet, I think the Y and the Z have to get put in there yet, but I started working from the bottom, working up here. I've made such good progress. I was so anxious to do the over one when I was on the ship, but honestly, that's 56 X's in an inch. I need my magnifier. And I think I may have made a mistake either in the R or the S, I don't know. I'll get it under the magnifier and figure it out and get it fixed. I'm not concerned, but I was really anxious to get to those pretty little strawberries that go around, so maybe I'll have some of that done by next time. So Jane Parson, this is what I worked on the entire time I was on the trip, and I'm using Ginny Thompson's flower thread. Look at the great coverage on that. It's one strand over 2 linen threads, and 28 count. So it's like equal to the size of a 14 count Aida. And it's just one thread, and it's great coverage. It's great coverage. I'm really enjoying working with it. And I contacted Birgit yesterday from the Wishing Thorn. Jane Parson is from the Wishing Thorn, and she has currently wool kits available, and she is anticipating having the flower thread, I guess within a day or so. The email was yesterday, and she said she expects it to be shipped out tomorrow, so which would be today. So any old time, she will be getting in the flower threads kit and the wool kit. Now, my friend Carrie at Tiger Lily Designs is also stitching on this, and we are co-hosting a Sal, Jane Parson Sal, and Carrie is stitching it in the wool. So you may want to check out Carrie and see how she's doing on that wool. And if you've joined with us, we'd love to have you post your progress pictures on Instagram at Jane Parson Sal. We'd love to have you join us, and it's a sweet little sampler. It's not taking long. I mean, I have not had every single day to work on that, and I've gotten a lot done. So I anticipate it'll get done relatively quickly. Okay, that is the total of my cross stitch that I've done since the last video. Yeah, what else did I want to talk about? Stitchy Excitement. And before I left, I'd gotten notification that I had randomly won a prize for participating in the Stitch Camp from Colorado cross stitcher, Sherry. And so when I got back from my trip, our mail was delivered, and look what I got. Project bag with all kinds of patterns in it. I was just so surprised. Well, first of all, to win a random prize like that when so many people participate, that's shocking. And it's just so nice. It's full. Here's a Hands Across the Sea, Honora Maxwell. Little Robin Designs, sampler of St. Ives. Cottage Garden Samplings, the Woodpecker, that's from that A Year in the Woods series. And this is a Brenda Gervais, and it's includes fabric and flosses with it. It's, what's it called? Jolly Happy Soul. Just what generous gifts. And I know that lots of people contribute to Sherry here, use this for your giveaway, but how lovely, all of those who do that, and for Sherry for doing it. Here's a sweet little one, the Sweetheart Tree. Just a cutie. I didn't see how big it would end up being. It looks like a nice sweet little thing. This one's called Indigo Rose Nathaniel. I think Indigo Rose is the company. And that Nathaniel, yes, Indigo Rose is the company, and Nathaniel is the name of the pattern. So just very lovely, wonderful surprise, and I feel very lucky to have gotten that. Okay. Okay, so there's that. Okay, another thing I wanted to mention to you, I showed you this bag before and talked to you about a wonderful person who has an Etsy shop who sent bags to kind of the founding members of Central Kentucky Stitchers. It was such a sweet thing to do, and that she has an Etsy shop, and I wanted to shout her out. Now, I now know what it is, and it's going to be in the notes below. I haven't typed my notes yet, but it'll be in the notes below. So her Etsy shop is called Stitchy Sassenach, so she's an Outlander fan, .etsy.com, stitchysassenach.etsy.com, and she is offering to any of my viewers who would like to order from her shop a code that would give you 20% off your order in her Etsy shop. And what you do is the code is Recovering Stitcher, and you can get 20% off in her shop. And she makes very nice bags, I told you before that it has that nice quality vinyl. This has a sweet little zipper pull on it, and she includes, this has a thread bed with it too. So her name's Melanie. Check her out for 20% off. I mean, listen, you can't beat that, right? 20% off. And I appreciate very much her gift of the bag, and thank you so much, Melanie, for offering my viewers an opportunity to save some money. Appreciate that very much. That's very generous of you. When you have a small little business, that's quite an offering. Okay, I have some haul. Let's see. This was kind of, well, it was a surprise, actually. Velvet Carrot Needlebook. Stacy Nash is the designer, but I got the kit from Michelle Rudy Farm Girl, because I'm in her Patreon. And I had so much fun making that parsnip rabbit. I think this will be a cute little companion. I'm getting kind of into the needlebook thingy here. I'm gonna have to make it a special display of my needle books, but it's gonna be fun. So I got the whole kit from Michelle Rudy. And my order from the attic came. This is the pattern I'm kitting up, the Ann Borat 1646. This was the one that it has all kinds of specialty stitches and reversible. So when it's done, it's reversible, and you can see it on the front and the back, except of course the letters would be backwards, and I'm already thinking of putting the horse before the cart before the horse. And I'm telling you, my brain is not doing well. I'm thinking, how am I going to frame that? If you have to turn it around and you put it in a regular frame, you would lose the effect. So anyway, if you know how to figure that out, appreciate that. So at the attic, I asked them to pick out a fabric for me because they didn't have what was called for, so they picked out Muddy Duck from Tabby Cat, and I ordered some size 28 Peacemaker needles. That's an interesting color, Muddy Duck from Tabby Cat. And I have the Soie d'Alger threads for it. There are 11 different colors, but 15 skeins because some require more than one. That was from the attic. And then I also got my 2 replacement spools of Goblin to replace the thread I errantly used on Forget Me Not. I had to start over. So anyway, all caught up. All caught up. Okay. Now, the other thing, my celebration recipients. Thank you so much to all those of you who made comments and wanted to participate in this, and I appreciate it very much. And so here we go. The first one was the collection from JBW of Antique Red Samplers, and the winner of this is Linda Melz, M-E-L-Z, Linda Melz maybe. And if you are a recipient of this, please use my email you'll find in the notes below, recoveringmonogamous-stitcher@gmail.com. Okay, it's in the notes below. Okay, and the next one, number 2, was Fox and Friend from Teresa Kogut. And the winner of this one is Janet Platt. Janet, if you send me your email or your mailing address using my email, please. Hilda Boo and Sunflowers 2 was number 3, and Donna Francis is the winner of this one. Donna Francis. Another Teresa Kogut called Old Friend. And the winner of this one is Mary Ann Johnson, 5410. Right? I'm reading backwards here. 5410, yes. Mary Ann Johnson. Congratulations, and please contact me with your mailing address. I want to get these out very quickly. The next one is Liberty from Hands On Design and Priscilla Blaine. And the winner is Tamra Pierce 237. Tamra Pierce 237. And the next one is another Hands On Design Bloom Chockfull. And the winner of this one is Lisa Haley 116. Lisa Haley 116. And the last one, Country Cottage Needleworks Land That I Love. And the winner of this is Nancy Marsh 2540. Nancy Marsh 2540. Okay, and those are the recipients of my celebration from my first year on Flosstube, and I appreciate very much everyone who participated in that. Now we'll move on to the quilt. That's all I have in the cross stitch. So if you're leaving me, thank you so much for stopping by. See you again in a couple weeks. And if you're staying around to see the quilt, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Give me just 1 second here while I grab, okay, yeah. Okay, this quilt is a lap size quilt. This is a free PDF pattern from Fat Quarter Shop, and I checked just this morning and it is still available. I made this in 2018, and so it's a 2-page pattern. Wonderful quality, Fat Quarter Shop as usual, easy instructions. It calls for a fat 1/8, so it's less fabric than you might think. A fat 1/8 bundle, or 35 9x20 inch rectangles, 3 1/3 yards for background, 3/4 of a yard for binding, and 4 3/4 for the backing. So it's not a lot of content, and it's I thought it was a fun quilt. It was a great one to construct because of course you have the wonderful Fat Quarter Shop instructions. Everything just lined up so nicely, and then I had great fun with the quilting. So I'm going to awkward transition now. Move the camera so I don't get sick. Okay. Okay, so the name of the pattern is Fruitcake Fat 1/8 quilt. The blocks are repeated, of course, every block is repeated. So let me see here, can I show you one? Okay, there's like a complete block, the green, I don't know if it's a flower, what it is, but they call it Fruitcake. But that's one block, and they're constructed block to block, and then there is a border around the outside that goes around the outside. So it's block to block construction, it's very nice. It's not like you have triangle points that you're trying not to get into a seam. It really was easy construction. The name of my fat 1/8 bundle, I can't tell you, I do not remember, and it wouldn't be available anyway. So you could choose your favorite little fat 1/8 bundle and some background fabric and binding and backing, and you've got a sweet little quilt here. Okay, let's talk about the quilting that I did. I like to always, if I can, use the piecing to do my measuring. Anytime the long armer has to take out a ruler and measure and mark and measure and mark, that takes a lot of time, and I like to use the piecing to do the measuring for me when I can. So every single block I did the same. Let me see if this black one show up maybe. Yeah, maybe that'll show up. Okay, so I did the continuous curve in these blocks around the center. I do, oops, I'm pointing and it's like drawing a star in a mirror. Okay, here's a continuous curve. And then in each of these, whether they're flower petals or whatever they are, I did feathers. And then I did curves here. It's like continuous curve, except it's exaggerated because this is a rectangular shape and not a square. But it's continuous curve. It's the same as continuous curve. That's what I did. And then the fun part for me was doing the negative space, not negative space, and a secondary design. So these are 4 blocks coming together. They each have a plain square in the corner. But I looked at that as one larger square and made it into a secondary design. I used a ruler, of course, for my straight lines. The back and forth matchstick, it's all just hand driven. You don't use a ruler for that. And then this design, which I love this. It's so effective to me. And all it is L's and E's. You know, if you had penmanship when you were in elementary, like I did, practice your L's and E's. So you start here. Let me see, am I pointing? Yeah, okay. Little E, little taller, taller in the middle, then a little less, come around, go around the corner, then your brain has to change direction, then you do an E and an L, and a taller L, and an L, and an E, and then around the corner, and your brain has to change direction, then an E. Anyway, that's what that is, and I love that pattern. It just is so effective when seen overall. It looks like it's something really fancy and really hard, but it is not. And then you'll recognize another one of my favorites here in the border. I did, whoops, let me see now, what am I pointing at? Sorry, I have to turn around this way, see what you're seeing. Okay, so I have my secondary design that spills out into the border, but then I did piano keys. And again, I used the quilt piecing to do the measurements for me. I used a ruler to do my straight line, and then did the refrigerator coil or matchstick or whatever you want to call it to fill in. And I really like match key. It gives a nice, it really helps keep this quilt square, in my opinion. And when I'm turning a corner, I can see that I've quilted it square because it fits nice and square. And whether it's going to be seen by a quilt judge or not, you know, you want to have it nice and square, have it lay right. So this is one of the lap quilts that's on the quilt rack that I have in the family room. I think I have another 3 on that rack I've not shown you yet, but this is one of our favorites. The kids like to get under that when they're here. Okay, so that is called Fruitcake. No, it's not. It's called Fat 8th Fruitcake Quilt Pattern. It was a great quilt to construct, and I had a lot of fun quilting it. And as I say, it's still available as a free PDF download from Fat Quarter Shop. So take advantage of that. Kimberly and her crew are just so generous with the quilting community and provide a lot of really fun resources. So I'm so happy you came to see me again. I'll get my head straightened around and in the right time zone. And I'll see you again. My next Flosstube will be on October 13th. Ooh, really dark Friday stitching that day. So I'll see you in a couple weeks. Have a great time stitching. See you soon. Bye-bye.